Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Here in Lessons in Technology, we discuss new innovations and what they mean for you. Now let's explore this Apple rumor about how the iMac G4 may be coming a comeback in a different way. Let's introduce the Apple Home View. A recent report from The Verge is talking about new Apple insights and innovation to create an ultimate home hub. Taking the inspirations from the classic iMac G4 with its round base, aluminum arm, and big flat screen could really revitalize how we use a screen in FaceTime calls. If you're not familiar with the iMac G4, it was such a revolutionary product at its time when Steve Jobs announced its revolutionary computer. Those for the newer generation, like me, kind of think about the Pixar lamp. It had its base, its arm, and then the light with it being the screen. Now, taking this innovation of what Steve Jobs offered with this new iMac, at its time, imagine it as a home hub. We have the iPad, and imagine the HomePod kind of getting rounded like a half circle, an arm, and then there you go. It's a nice multitasking home hub where you can do FaceTime calls, be its ultimate, home hub so you can access your lights without it being something that it's necessarily portable. It could just stay at its designated spot where it can play music from its speaker, and all the computing stuff is in the speaker, and then it's also playing on the screen as well. Now for me, I called it the Apple Home View because I feel like this would be a standalone device name, kind of how we were discussing what would Apple name its Vision headset or AR virtual reality headset, which is now Vision Pro. So having it called HomePod Max could technically work, but it kind of would just sound like you just slapped a screen on top of a HomePod. But Home View makes it feel more natural. You have its speaker and it's made for home, and then you have a screen so you can access its daily tasks. If you are a fan of the iMac G4, make sure to like and subscribe as well. Now, there are many brainstormed ideas for how this device could look like. Now, like I said before, some may say it may be a HomePod Max, or it could be what I would call it, the Apple Home View. And so there's different versions of how it can technically look like, but nothing is kind of set in stone yet. There hasn't been anything leaked regarding the fact of how this device could look like with its specific specs from Apple. So based on the leaks though, it does look like it could be a hybrid of the iPad and the HomePod. For Apple, this could be its take on the Google Nest Hub, also its Amazon Echo Show, but designed for a premium experience through the Apple ecosystem. And see, one of the lessons in technology with this said product that could be happening in the future, how is it going to play out with the rest of the kind of established home hubs? Now, knowing with Apple, they would seamlessly integrate it with their ecosystem, so it is flawless when you ask tasks. Hopefully it also has its most powerful chip available so it can access the Apple Intelligence features to be more thoroughly intelligent when operating your home. Now, when it comes to software, how would this play out? Because we don't want it to be necessarily, or maybe if Apple allows this to just be an iPad with a base, So I think what they could do is they kind of tone down the iPad-like feel for its software and be its kind of home-centric, like HomeKit with the screen basically, where it has its access to its lights, its security, kind of the other stuff that you can do that can connect with the HomePod speakers and the Apple TV. So it's generally software focused regarding only HomeKit and home, areas as well. Now, another lesson in this technology is how will the user be focused in this? Like, how accessible is it? Is it an easy jump? Is it an easy process? Or will it be something that you would have to kind of navigate to understand, kind of like Vision Pro? Comment below your dream Apple-made home hub that you would like for them to make. Now, speaking of Apple Intelligence, we know that Apple is developing a more powerful Siri. So hopefully when Apple is done with developing the full version of Siri, which would technically be its last software update, which is 18.4, with the new fully, upgraded Siri. So hopefully with this and iOS 19 coming up, they can come up with a more profound way to enhance Apple Intelligence. And how this can affect the Home Hub is have it where it's more natural language, where you can give it specific tasks like multitasking to tell it more than one operation. So then that way you can turn on the lights and turn on the TV. Or if you have it through shortcuts, it can understand that when you say, hey, I'm home, it can turn on everything for you within the switch. But there's also talks of how Apple Intelligence isn't really the best, AI experience, which, to give some grace, Apple is just now starting on its kind of AI journey when Samsung and Google have established theirs, a couple years ago. And with Apple's focus on privacy in mind, they wanted to make sure it's an assistant and not something that just uses your data. Now, from The Verge, they're talking about how Apple could release a product of this nature literally this year or maybe early next year, but sometime around this year for sure. We could be looking at maybe towards the, summer, maybe fall, as something as their One More Thing event. Now, the true question is for this lesson in technology of how can this be the final stepping stone of making a true Apple Hub experience be? How this can be its standalone product that stays at the home, that's not portable. How can this affect our day-to-day lives in a positive way? So with all that being said, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about Apple Home Hub? That's not just Apple HomeKit through software, but it's built from the ground up to make a solid hardware device regarding homes. So let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts, opinions, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see more content from Lessons in Technology. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Elijah Plus today. This is Lessons in Technology, and I'll see you in another video.